I'm stunned. That's not a pundit talking. That's a sitting member of Congress. Jim McGovern unloads on Kristi Noem as ICE raids spread fear, detain U.S. citizens, and Congress is accused of looking the other way. This is not politics. This is a warning.
Ms. Torres, Ms. Dexter, thank you for raising the concerns regarding ICE. I said at the opening of this hearing, which was like 100 hours ago, but I said, one of the things that troubles me is that some of us are playing by the old rules, and I think the executive branch is not playing by those rules. In fact, they're not playing by rules at all. And I think everybody here agrees that people who commit violent and terrible crimes ought to be held account, no matter where they were born, no matter where they were born. I mean, we're all committed to that. But what is troubling when it comes to ICE has been the excesses and the cruelty have just kind of been justified or ignored, or it's no big deal, or get over it. When U.S. citizens are being put in detention. I mentioned earlier, I did a field hearing in Everett, Massachusetts, with Ayanna Presley on food insecurity, and it's a very diverse population that lives in Everett. And we did this gathering in a supermarket that was owned by a family that came from Colombia, but they're U.S. citizens. And they're telling us that, people who are U.S. citizens, people who are legal immigrants, who are legally here, are afraid to come to the store.
That's right.
Because they're afraid they'll be picked up for no reason, or they'll be questioned or detained, and they don't know what's going to happen. They're following the news. And the fact that nobody seems to want to address these excesses and these violations of human rights, quite frankly, and the fact that we're not doing the oversight here in Congress that, quite frankly, we should be doing, I think has resulted in you and a number of others coming up here and saying, we got to offer amendments. We have to debate these things, and we have to vote on them. I am under no illusion that Kristi Noem at Homeland Security will address any of these things. I've been shocked at her insensitivity. Yeah. I'm stunned. I think the only hope is that we do. And so I thank you for your amendments, and I look forward to supporting them all.
Thank you.
I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. McGovern. Mr. Griffith.
I don't have any questions, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Jim McGovern didn't raise his voice, and that made this even more damning. What he described isn't border enforcement. It's fear as policy. Legal immigrants terrified to buy groceries. U.S. citizens afraid of being detained for no reason. Communities silenced not by law, but by uncertainty. And here's the most chilling part. McGovern admits Congress is still playing by old rules while the executive branch has abandoned them entirely. That's not partisan rhetoric, that's a breakdown of accountability. Kristi Noem isn't accused of mistakes, she's accused of indifference, cruelty normalized, oversight dismissed, human rights treated as collateral damage. When elected officials say they're stunned, it usually means the alarm bells are already ringing, and too many people ignored them. This moment isn't about left versus right. It's about whether the rule of law still applies equally or only selectively. And McGovern made one thing painfully clear. If Congress doesn't act, no one else will.